What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be reacting to a video about Luis Diaz and how perfect he is for Barcelona's left wing position and how he can fit in multiple different positions across that front four in the team, and how he could probably be the most ideal forward signing for Barcelona, especially what's available on the market. And this video by GoatV can give us a good insight into what we can expect if Luis Diaz signing materializes, and maybe will give us some verification about why the price tag is set by Liverpool. Maybe give us a better feeling about paying the price if we do end up doing it. So I think this is going to be a very interesting video. But before we get into it, of course, make sure you guys smash the like button down below and subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. And let's get right into it.
Some say he's fire.
Oh, Luis Diaz. Oh.
Dude's got mad skills. Others, they think he's too old for Barca, like he's washed already.
It's not the too old part, it's just that the age to price ratio just doesn't sit well. You know, you're getting someone 29 years old for 80 million. I mean, come on.
Yes, brilliant!
But real talk, his style's perfect for Flick's Barca. Only thing, Liverpool's not letting him go for less than 85 million euros. Still, it's pretty clear the Colombian wants out.
Estamos hablando con clubes, es normal, el mercado se abre y bueno, estamos ahí tratando de arreglar lo posible que sea mejor para nosotros.
Luis Diaz to Barca, Masters Roke or madness? Let's find out. The hunt for a new forward is on. After Nico Williams officially turned down the chance to join Barcelona, the club is now looking for a fresh solution in attack. At first glance, this might seem unnecessary. After all, Barca finished the 2024-25 season with 19 different goal scorers, leading both La Liga and the Champions League in total goals scored. Statistically, it looks like the attack is already doing more than enough. But numbers don't tell the full story. Under Hansi Flick, the tactical approach demands relentless movement, aggressive pressing, and fast transitions. That's taken a toll on the three main forwards, Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal. All of them played over 4,000 minutes this season, an exhausting load for any player. Flick knows that if Barca wants to keep dominating, they need depth, they need rotation, and most importantly, they need someone who can relieve the pressure on Lewandowski up front. That's where Luis Diaz comes in. Some fans are quick to dismiss the Colombian. They say he's overhyped, that he doesn't have elite numbers, that he's not a top-tier star. But here's the truth. Luis Diaz offers everything Flick is looking for. And maybe
I would disagree that a little bit. I think he is a world-class player. He offers what we need. I think he's a fantastic player. Again, the only real turn off for him is his age, so it's going to be a short to medium term signing. It won't be long term. The price is quite hefty as well. It's like if we go on and we do it and we win, and you know everybody will forget about it, right? But it's the preliminary factor that's the question mark. For example, look at Frankie de Jong. At the time we bought him for 75 million. Now it looks like a steal. At that time, quite a hefty fee, but we were worth it because we needed a player like him. And he was very young as well. This is kind of the same thing, but imagine Frankie de Jong back when we signed from Ajax, but being 29 years old. That would have raised some eyebrows. So it's just the age of price, I think, really disrupts a lot of Barca fans.
Even than what Nico Williams would have brought.
Goalkeeper's gone AWOL, Luis Diaz!
He's fast, explosive, aggressive in 1v1s, and experienced at the highest level. If used right, he could become a great piece in Barca's new attacking puzzle.
This goal against Argentina was absolutely crazy.
Luis Diaz might be known as a left winger, but don't get it twisted, he's way more versatile than people think. During his last season at Liverpool, he played 15 times as a striker and scored 8 goals. That's more than what most fans expected from someone who's not a natural number 9. As a left winger, his usual role, he played 30 games and scored 6 goals. What does that tell us? He can adapt. Whether he's wide on the wing or leading the line, Luis Diaz brings danger anywhere in the final third. He's got quick feet, bold dribbling skills, and a real eye for goal. He's electric on the ball. ball. And while some might assume he's nearing the end of his prime, the numbers say otherwise. Luis Diaz is only 28 years old, the same age as Rafinha. That means there's plenty of gas left in the tank, especially in a team where the system can make him shine. But here's the part of the story most people don't know. Luis Diaz came from nothing. He once played in the Copa America for indigenous peoples. He went from poverty in Colombia to becoming the first ever Colombian to wear the Liverpool jersey. Luis Diaz didn't come from luxury or big city football academies. He came from La Guajira, one of the most remote and poorest regions of Colombia. His hometown was a tiny rancheria, a small settlement hidden near the Caribbean coast and the Sierra Nevada mountains. Diaz grew up as part of the Wayu indigenous community, where football was played barefoot, the heat was brutal, and money was almost non-existent. His father coached the local team, and that was where Luis first learned how to fight, not just for the ball, but for a way out. Life near the massive Cerrejón coal mine was tough, but Diaz had one dream: to make it in football and lift his family out of poverty. That dream took its first real step when a scout noticed him at 17. He was invited to join a camp for the indigenous national team of Colombia, ahead of the Copa America for indigenous peoples. But even with all his talent, he had a major obstacle. He was underweight and malnourished. Most players would have been written off, but Diaz, he took it as a challenge. He worked relentlessly to build his body, adding weight, strength and stamina until he hit a level where nothing could stop him. Then came the breakthrough. On May 14th, 2016, he made his professional debut for Barranquilla FC and scored in that very first match. From there, his rise was rapid. His performances earned him a call-up to Colombia's U20 national team. Soon after, he moved to one of the biggest clubs in the country, Junior de Barranquilla. And once again, he delivered. Goals, assists, magic on the wing. He was electric. His performances there didn't just catch the eye of local fans, they caught the attention of the entire nation. He got his first senior call-up for the Colombian national team, and the rest is history. By the time Luis Diaz left Colombia, his name already carried weight. Porto FC, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, saw the raw talent and signed him in 2019. From that moment on, everything he touched turned to gold. In just 2.5 years, Diaz became one of the most exciting players in Europe. He played 125 matches, spent over 7,800 minutes on the pitch, and delivered 41 goals along with 19 assists across all competitions. His speed was devastating. His dribbling, pure chaos for defenders. He could break games open on his own. During his time at Porto, Diaz won the Portuguese league title in 2019-20, lifted the Portuguese Cup and added a Super Cup to his trophy case. He wasn't just a contributor, he was becoming the star, but the real breakout moment came in the 2021 Copa America representing Colombia.
Argentina knocked them out.
Diaz lit up the tournament, scoring 4 goals, the same number as Lionel Messi, and becoming one of the tournament's top performers. He wasn't just speed and flash anymore, he was producing at the highest level. That was the moment when Liverpool made their move, signing him during the winter transfer window of the 2020.
Do not forget, I think this is a big point, is that when Liverpool were interested, so were Barcelona. We also bid for Luis Diaz when we were dirt poor. We were pulling out money from arses that I didn't even know existed to put a bid in for Diaz, and I think ultimately Liverpool did outbid us. But the fact that we did bid for a player when we had, no money to spend shows how highly Barcelona do rate him.
21-22 season. It wasn't a gamble, it was a message. This guy's ready for the big leagues. Luis Diaz's rise at Liverpool felt like something out of a movie. He wasn't supposed to join in the winter. The plan was clear. Liverpool would wait until summer. But then Tottenham showed interest and things changed fast. Klopp didn't hesitate. He picked up the phone and personally called Diaz, a move that would change the season for the Reds.
We are really happy and excited about the signing, and I think it's a really good sign that we work on all fronts to improve this team, and how it always is. Obviously in football we work, we have to be successful now and in the future, and so he can help with both. So that's a really good thing. And we signed it because we like pretty much everything about him. So that's how it is. I followed him now for a while, not only since we played them twice in the Champions League, so he is an exceptional player. He has the speed, he has the skill set, he has the character, to have a really good career. And
Having a good manager
we
rating
all
that high
want
is
him
also a
to
good
have
thing.
this career here with us.
Klopp had already seen the Colombian shine twice against his own team during the Champions League group stage. Diaz's speed, confidence and raw creativity were unforgettable. But even so, nobody expected him to settle in so fast. The Premier League is a brutal place for new players, especially mid-season. But Diaz was electric from day one. He stepped into a team that already had one of the deadliest front threes in the world, Salah, Jota and Mane. Yet Diaz didn't just compete, he earned a spot among them. The fans at Anfield quickly fell in love with his fearlessness, his energy and that signature step over. He wasn't just flair, he delivered when it mattered most. In the first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals against Benfica, he scored his first goal as a Liverpool player. And also he gave an assist. Then, in the semi-final second leg against Villarreal, he came on and shifted the momentum completely, scoring a crucial goal to send Liverpool through. It wasn't all smooth sailing for Luis Diaz after his explosive start at Liverpool. The 2022-23 season hit him hard. During a tough match against Arsenal, Diaz collided with Bukayo Saka and suffered a serious knee injury, a torn lateral collateral ligament. He was sidelined for over 4 months after a surgery, and his numbers obviously dropped. He finished the season with only 5 goals and 3 assists. A major dip compared to his potential. Many began to wonder if his bright start had just been a spark, and not the fire everyone expected. Then came the 2023-24 season, and everything changed. Fully recovered and hungry to prove himself, Luis Diaz unleashed his full potential. Playing mainly as a left winger, he racked up 13 goals and 7 assists, becoming one of Liverpool's most dangerous weapons. His speed, his dribbling, and his energy were back, and sharper than ever. Still, Liverpool as a club was going through a turbulence. They hit a rough patch in the Premier League, dropped out of the Champions League, and were eliminated by Atalanta in the Europa League quarter-finals. Their only trophy was the Carabao Cup, and then came the big moment. Jurgen Klopp stepped down. The Anfield crowd gave him a hero's send-off. Klopp had rebuilt Liverpool from the ground up, but it was time for a new chapter. Arne Slot took over. And under Slot, Luis Diaz evolved into a whole new better monster. The Colombian was no longer just a winger. Slot started using him as a central striker, a false nine, and even as a hybrid forward in a fluid
really
tactical system. Diaz responded with his best season yet, 17 goals and 8 assists. He scored a goal every 196 minutes, one of the most consistent performances of his career. He even bagged a hat-trick in the Champions League against Bayer Leverkusen, cementing his status as one of Europe's most complete forwards. Now, why is Barcelona convinced that Luis Diaz is the right man to lead their next attacking evolution? At this stage, Barcelona under Hansi Flick is not just a project, it's a machine with clearly defined gears. The way they attack isn't random, it's meticulously orchestrated. Every lane on the field becomes a weapon. On the right side, it's Lamine Yamal hugging the touchline, using his left foot to cut inside while Jules Koundé overlaps to give width and depth. On the left, it's been a mix. Rafinha drifts inside to overload central lanes, and Alejandro Balde bombs down the wing to stretch the field. The midfielders Pedri, Dani Olmo, Fermin, Gavi keep moving between the lines, hunting for pockets of space between fullbacks and centre-backs. Meanwhile, Lewandowski plays as a fixed point, either holding up defenders or dropping deep to pull them out of position and open gaps. This is not a chaotic system. It's not like Arne Slot's explosive transitions at Liverpool. It's about control. The Barca of Flick gains territory patiently, step by step, until they suffocate you with possession and precision. So the big question is, where does Luis Diaz fit in all this? The answer? Almost perfectly. Luis Diaz is a right-footed winger who thrives on the left flank, exactly the kind of profile Flick has used before. But Diaz adds something unique, explosive diagonal runs behind the backline, always staying just onside, ready to sprint into the perfect lane. He knows when to trigger his movement, often the very second the ball reaches midfield, giving his teammates the ideal timing for a through pass. That instinct makes him a nightmare for high defensive lines. But Diaz isn't just about speed, he's also smart with the ball. Once in possession, he can slow down and change pace in an instant.
And that's going to be huge as well, being smart in possession, because teams now are going to know how Barcelona will approach games. Of course, last season was a bit of a surprise with the high line and doing it so consistently and dying on the hill, and now teams know that they're going to find vulnerabilities in that, and having a player like Luis Diaz that has a bit of dynamism to him to provide something different will catch them off guard to counteract their ability and their thoughts of trying to beat our high press and high line. So that's also going to be a big point in favor of Luis Diaz.
That balance between raw speed and tight control is what makes him so hard to contain. One-on-one, he's a problem. Two-on-one, he's still dangerous. He forces defenders to collapse on him, opening space for others inside the box. And even if his cross isn't pinpoint perfect, the chaos he creates is often more than enough to give his teammates a clean shot. In many ways, he's a hybrid between Rafinha and Lamine, dynamic like Rafinha, but with more
I wouldn't say it's Lamine and I'll probably say he's a combo of like definitely a Rafinha. If I was to say another player at Barcelona, maybe like an Ansu Fati. I don't think he's as raw and as versatile as Lamine is, but look at Ansu, how he's a touchline winger. Ansu, he can get to the byline, he can go 1v1, and he can cut inside, but he doesn't have that explosiveness to him maybe nowadays because of his injury. I wouldn't say Luis Diaz is explosive, really smart player that has the ability to burst into space, to drop defenders, to find pockets and movements and create danger, but I wouldn't say he's a player that relies on his pace and to being explosive and to only rely upon his dribbling and his playmaking. So I'd probably say he's more of a hybrid of Rafa and Ansu than he is Rafa and Lamine.
and more natural movement in wide spaces. He can drag defenders wide or slip into the half space for a quick 1-2. His presence on the left could finally give Barca a true two-wing attack. There's something strange about Luis Diaz. On the surface, he doesn't scream superstar. He doesn't post outrageous numbers like Haaland or play with the media glow of a Phil Foden. But then you dig a little deeper and realise he's been quietly outshining many of the Premier League's best in his role. With 13 goals last season, Diaz finished as the 12th top scorer in the entire league, outperforming players like Gabriel Martinelli, Son Heung-min, Leandro Trossard, Eberechi Eze, and even Phil Foden, all of them wingers or hybrid forwards with huge reputations. The only players above him were mostly classic strikers like Haaland, Isak, or midfielders pushed high like Cole Palmer and Matthias Cunha. He's not flashy on paper, but he's consistently dangerous. That's where his value becomes clear. He's not a luxury player, he's a weapon. Tactically, Diaz is a lot like Rafinha. He loves to drift inside, get close to the striker, and pull defenders with him. That movement doesn't just free him up, it opens the lane for Alejandro.
But that's the issue, right? We need a player like Lamine on the left. We don't need another Rafinha on the left. Where I think that Luis Diaz is a better 1v1 and a better natural left winger than Rafinha is. He is more similar to Rafa than Lamine, and we need a left winger that's more similar to Lamine than Rafa. I think he still do the role of Lamine down the left-hand side and being explosive, going on the byline, taking 1v1, creating chances and putting in good crosses. He can definitely do that way better, I would say, than Rafinha. But if he plays on the left, they just end up doing what Rafinha does, which is basically drift inside, find the pockets of space, exploit it, link up play with Lua and Rafa in the middle, and then just leaving Bolly on that left-hand side single-handedly all alone. Then what's the purpose? I think his ability to play center forward is going to be a big asset, of course, if we do end up signing him. Because I think that flick, we could definitely see him putting him in the middle, then maybe Rafa in the 10, Dani Olmo on the left, or vice versa. Keep Rafa on the left, Dani Olmo in the middle, Diaz up front. But then again, you're just leaving so much for Balde down that left-hand side. But we need a player more like Lamine on the left than we do needing another player like Rafinha.
Balde to take the entire left wing, just like Flick wants. But unlike Rafinha, Diaz has a wider skill set. He can play as a traditional left winger, but also as a central striker, or even in dual striker systems. He's done it all, in Porto under the 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2 setups, and in Liverpool's signature 4-3-3. And no matter the system, he brings the same thing: pace, danger, and that flicker of unpredictability. Luis Diaz doesn't just beat defenders, he creates moments. That one spark that breaks a deadlock. That solo run that shifts the mood of a match. Those magical seconds where everything seems to slow down and he takes control. That's what makes him so special. In a Barca where Yamal and Rafinha are carrying most of the creative load, Luis Diaz could be a game changer. Because here's the thing, Hansi Flick knows how to transform players. He's done it over and over again. Serge Gnabry, Kingsley Coman, even Rafinha himself under his new system. Flick brought new life to Frankie de Jong, gave purpose to Pedri again, and turned Inigo Martinez into a key figure. This isn't guesswork. This is Flick's superpower. So the question is no longer, can Luis Diaz succeed at Barca? But rather, how much can Flick elevate him? But that doesn't mean it's a simple move. For starters, Liverpool wants no less than €85 million for Diaz. That alone makes it one of the biggest financial decisions Barca would make this summer. And with the tragic passing of Diogo Jota, Diaz's role at Liverpool might suddenly be much more important than expected, making a deal even harder. Then there's the salary issue. He earns around €8 million per year, which would instantly place him among Barca's top earners. In a club still dealing with strict financial controls, that's not a detail you can overlook. And yes, Diaz isn't perfect. He's had long spells of inconsistency. In fact, this past season he went 10 straight Premier League games without scoring, only producing 2 assists during that stretch. That's the version of Diaz that critics fear. But Deco and Flick see something else. They see a winger with elite movement, sharp instincts inside the box, and a natural feel for finishing. They see a left-sided attacker who can unlock Rafinha, freeing him to play as a false nine. They see a player who can rotate with Yamal when needed, even if the right wing isn't his natural side. They see the same kind of tactical flexibility that Nico Williams would have brought. Luis Diaz isn't just a signing. He's a bet, let's be honest. This isn't an easy call. Signing Luis Diaz means putting a lot of money on the table. And for a player who, unlike Marcus Rashford, hasn't made it clear he wants to wear the Barca shirt. Rashford has even said he's willing to lower his salary just to join the club. Diaz, no public statement, no strong hint. And that matters. There's also the question of his role. Would Diaz accept being a super sub at times? That's not guaranteed. He's used to starting. But imagine this, a left wing with Balde and Luis Diaz tearing down the flank against someone like Alexander-Arnold. That alone could be worth the gamble.
Yes,
Luis
please.
Diaz has the talent. That's never been the issue. What he needs is a coach who knows how to unlock him. And Flick has already done that with players people had written off. Ferran Torres, Eric Garcia, Lewandowski. Guys who were questioned and ended up being crucial during the season. If Diaz listens, adapts and embraces this new chapter, he could be next. Not just a good signing, a game. Some say he's
I mean, he makes some good points. I wouldn't say he's done enough to persuade me, like, yeah, drop the 85 million, bring him in, but he makes points that not that we already know, but like emphasizes some of the key areas that yes, Flick can improve players. Yes, he has the traits to do so well at Barcelona. Yes, the price is hefty. Yes, the age isn't so ideal. And that's why if we do end up signing Luis Diaz, you can't really get upset because the signs are there for success and it's not going to be a terrible 0 out of 10 signing. It's just whether or not he's going to live up to the investment that Barcelona makes. If he comes in with the Champions League once, it's worth it. We win it twice, I would have paid 200 million. If we win it 3 times, I would have paid $1 billion. You know what I mean? But it's just living up to that hefty price tag that is difficult to do. And we've already had, our top 3 signings we've ever made are, in terms of, prices are all flops. I mean, our most expensive signing that's probably been the best is probably Neymar or Frankie de Jong, Luis Suarez, and he is going to be probably more expensive than all 3 of those players. So it'll be interesting to see how things do turn out. But again, it really comes down to what the market is saying and how Barcelona can maybe finagle this deal in the best, most suitable way for the club. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts on Luis Diaz. Would you break the bank for him and pay what Liverpool want? Would you maybe try and get him on a cheaper deal? Think it's worth getting him for that price tag that Liverpool have set? Are you in favor of bringing in Luis Diaz? Think he'll improve and provide a good depth and coverage for that attacking front four? Leave me all your thoughts down in the comments below. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.